Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for some fun. Um, Several weeks ago, my good friend Kevin at Kevin Toll Reads created his own tag for the new year, and that was the New Year New Me book tag, which Kevin tagged me on, and I dutifully did the tag right away. One of the people that I tagged was my good friend James at Quaint and Curious Volumes. And James decided to put his own spin on the tag. So he kind of adapted Kevin's questions a bit. And he then in turn tagged me. And he tagged a bunch of other people too. So I was tagged by James, and I was also tagged by my friend John at Must Read More. So I've been tagged twice on this new version of the New Year's tag, and I thought I better do this while it's still January. So here we go. This is James' version of Kevin's tag. So number one, regrets. What is one book from your 2024 reading goals that you regret reading or that haunts you? I couldn't think of anything that I really regret reading. If I really don't like a book, if it's painful for me to continue, I don't continue. If I get all the way through the book, I can't say that I regret reading a book. I certainly have been haunted by books that I read in all of my life. There are books that have haunted me. One that really troubled me was Matthew Perry's memoir. I don't usually read celebrity memoirs. I don't think that's a typical read for me. But I felt compelled to read his memoir after we learned that he had died. And it wasn't a great memoir. It's painfully repetitive, but it just was so sad because the memoir detailed his long history with drug abuse, but it ends hopefully. At the end of the book, he's kicked the many habits that he has had, and he ends the book very hopefully. And of course, I didn't read the book until after I learned that he had died, which is sadly often the case with cases of severe drug addiction, and that's it's just a book that that haunts me, that has stayed with me. Okay, number two. Penitence. What is one book on your 2024 reading goals that you feel guilty for not reading? Well, I don't know if I actually feel guilty, but I do feel determined to read this book. This is Abraham Verghese, The Covenant of Water. This was a book that I asked for a year ago, last Christmas. This was a gift from a member of my family, and I want to read this, and I didn't get to it in all of 2024, and I will get to it in 2025. Number three, the Albatross. Are there any books you had on your 2024 TBR that you are glad to say you won't read in 2025? Well, these books were not really on my TBR, but I did read part one of the Sarah J. Maas Akatar series. And what is that? A Court of what does it stand for? A Court of Thorns and Roses. And I read that with the I'm with the band book club. And, I didn't really love that book. But I certainly didn't understand why it's been banned, and I would absolutely, defend Sarah J. Maas's right to write and publish. And then we went on a couple months later to read volume 2 in the series, and I just, and I know some people say that's a better book. I just couldn't get through it. I stopped reading about maybe 200 pages into it. I mean, it's a gigantic book that was just insufferable. And I didn't finish it, and I actually donated both copies to my public library. I mean, I donate a lot of books to my public library, but I thought it was safe to say that I would not be revisiting those or any of the rest of the books in the series. I did my part in supporting her right to write them and to not have her books be banned. But I'm pretty glad I won't be reading any more of that series in 2025. Number 4, Pruning. Have any 2024 books led you to reconsider any long-term reading projects? Not any books in particular. It's just my own tendency, I think, to, join everything because I'm excited about everything and I want to participate, and then I overcommit and I overextend myself, and it's really hard for me to say I can't do this or this was too much. So it's not any one thing that I read in 2024 that has me reconsidering long-term goals. It's just my whole tendency to overjoin and overextend myself. And that has just kind of told me that in 2025, I want to read more deliberately, and I want to read with joy in my mind more often. And I say this after having just come off a really, really heavy week of some really powerful but heavy-duty books. But just some things that I'm thinking, might bring some joy. I've talked in other videos about how I discovered Legends and Latte, Legends and Lattes. And I just loved that book, and that was a book that brought me real joy. So next up for 2025, somewhere early this year, is going to be, the next part in Travis Baldry's, I guess it's a duology, Bookshops and Bone Dust. Just continuing with the same little friends that I made in Legends and Lattes. That sounds really good. This has come highly recommended from both viewers, subscribers, and other people with channels who are big fans of Terry Pratchett, and that is Weird Sisters. So I think I'm going to give that a try. Another book that a bunch of people have talked about that they really loved is Matt Cain's The Secret Life of Albert Entwistle. And I thought that, this is another book about it never being too late and finding second chances and finding love even later in life. And I thought that could be that could be something that would help me read with joy in mind. Okay, I don't know if that answered the question, but that's what I'm going with. Okay, number 5, Lying Fallow. What is one author or genre that you're taking a break from in 2025? Well, I'm not really taking a break yet, but I think I will after February. I signed on to read volume one of In Search of Lost Time, Marcel Proust, and I'm reading volume one, but I don't think I'm going to read volume two, at least not right now. I'm not going to, I'm not going to say never, but I don't think I will continue with the year-long project. I think I will, when I finish this, I will have had my fill of Proust for now, and I think it's okay to stop after volume one, and I can always come back to volumes 2 through 6. Okay, number 6, the scapegoat. Are there any formerly favorite authors that you're not going to read in 2025? No, no. My favorite authors are still my favorite authors. I can't really think of a favorite author that I've abandoned. The people that I love that are still writing, Louise Erdrich, Anne Patchett, Amor Towles, Louise Penny. If they publish books in 2025, they're automatic buys for me. So no, I can't think of a formerly favorite author that I'm not going to read. Then there are my favorite classics, classic authors, and for those, I hope to get back on track. You know, I have this ongoing Dickens project that I have, you know, woefully neglected. So that's actually someone that I want to get back in touch with. So no, the answer to question number 6 is no. Number 7, stay the course. Is there a series that you started last year that you might complete this year? Yes, there is. I've been reading Becky Chambers' Wayfarer series, and I think I will finish that. I have read the first couple volumes, but I know I haven't read the 4th volume. So that's a series I could conceivably finish this year. I think number 4 is The Galaxy and the Ground Within. I don't even own that book yet, but I think that's conceivable that I will finish that series. I may also be caught up. I'm not yet, but it's conceivable in this year that I could catch up and finish Louise Penny, the Inspector Armand Gamache series. Now, this is not a series that I started in 2024. I've been reading this series for years and years and years. But it's conceivable that I could at least get caught up. Okay, number 8, Breaking Walls. Bonus. Do you have a non-book related goal for 2025 that you wish to share? Well, that's the same question that Kevin asked in his original tag, and James didn't change that question. So I'm going to just give the same answer that I gave in Kevin's response. My non-book related goal is self-care, and that entails a bunch of things, some of which I am doing a great job at already, and some of which not so much. More improvement is needed. This includes eating well, sleeping well, and exercising every day, or 6 days a week. I do all of those things, so I'm feeling really good about that part of self-care. The other big part of it is minimizing the noise that comes into my head from the news, and I especially want to minimize that as we're going into the rest of 2025, and I could do better at that. And as I said, earlier, I want to do more reading for joy. I'm in a lot of events. that are very fulfilling, very nurturing in one way or another, and I want to continue with all of those. But I also want to make deliberate decisions to read for joy. Okay, and then the last question is teamwork, and that is to tag others. Well, as I always do, I'm going to say that if you're watching this and you would like to do James' version of Kevin's tag, this is New Year, same old me, please consider yourself tagged. And in addition, I'm going to put a few names in the notes below and tag those people as well. So, as always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.